Is time travel possible? Neil deGrasse Tyson answers your questions. Honesty box. Boom! Sorry, YouTube audience, if this becomes a video, ignore all the Vagisil comments. That's not the topic.
Ingredients of life itself. You know, hydrogen is in our bodies. That was birthed in the Big Bang. And then we have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, silicon, iron. Those elements did not come from the Big Bang. They came from stars. It's not just figuratively true, it's literally true that we are stardust.
Neil deGrasse Tyson makes me feel special whenever I watch one of his clips. And insignificant at the same time.
Hi, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and I'm here to answer questions from the Honesty Box. Here we go. First question. Could a comet or asteroid destroy Earth? A comet and asteroid will take out life on Earth, but Earth itself will be just fine.
Bro, I still feel like we could read, you know, like, what was that? Is it Don't Look Up? The name of the movie with, like, fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, where they're like, an asteroid's gonna kill everybody, and they ignore it. And I know, like, by that point, it was too late, but I feel like if we knew, like, a year ahead that an asteroid was gonna collide with Earth, bro, motherfuckers are redirecting that, you know? Like, I think all the money in the world would just be immediately invested to not have that asteroid kill everybody on Earth. Like, all the countries, no, we couldn't. Bro, you think that all the world superpowers stop fucking arguing with each other and killing each other for, like, a year. And we go, we're going to invest trillions of dollars into, you know, blowing that asteroid up or redirecting its path, bro. They're getting it done. They're getting it done.
So when people say, especially people in the green movement, we need to save Earth, save planet Earth, you have no idea how resilient planet Earth is. It got slammed by a Mars-sized protoplanet, made the moon, and Earth is still here. What you really mean is, can it destroy life on Earth? It's done it before, it'll do it again. Unless we figure out a way to deflect the asteroid.
Or I fucking eat that shit. Like when you're catching an egg in an egg toss. Set her down easy. It just crushes me. I'm like, I'm ready. And then I'm dead. It just crushes. You wouldn't even see it coming. It'd be moving that fast.
Stock of the galaxy. To be the only species that went extinct from an asteroid, yet we also had a space program. That's just embarrassing. Like, no. Do aliens exist? Don't know. We're looking for them. What I'm pretty sure is that they have yet to visit Earth. Because if they did, it would be odd that they only visit US government facilities. Okay, so maybe they do exist and they have visited, but they are inherently fuzzy and they target restricted naval airspace, but only of the US government.
Or they're wearing our skin and Mark Zuckerberg is actually an alien that's pretending to be human to get information on us before he returns to his home planet. No. I don't know if I believe aliens have visited. I believe aliens exist. I think it's illogical to believe that they don't. Intelligent alien life is different, different story, but alien life definitely exists, right? The ingredients for life to exist are not rare. But do I believe that aliens exist on Earth now or have? I don't know. I mean, dude, I watched that podcast with David Grush, the whistleblower that worked with, like, high military officials, and he ended up almost getting arrested and, like, all this other shit because he was talking about, like, the U.S. alien program and shit and how they did recover, like, alien aircraft and, like, UFOs and stuff. But I don't know. It's just, like, people watch that and then just, like, they're like, okay, and they move on with their everyday life. And I'm sitting here like, yo, that motherfucker's saying aliens definitively exist. Like, what? And we just, like, move on. It's a little bullshit. I don't know, dude. I mean, we had this conversation before when we watched the Canadian alien video, which was definitely fake. But if an alien say an alien UFO crashes in your backyard, like Neil deGrasse Tyson's point is like, why are they always landing at aliens landing at U.S. air bases and stuff? I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying that motherfucker might crash. You report it, government fucking wipes that shit clean, you know? But I feel like in modern times, everybody's whipping out their iPhone. I will agree with that. Like, you couldn't really hide an alien crash now. Like, that shit would be on Twitter instantly. Like, that shit, I don't know if you would be able to hide it eventually, but people would already have it, like, downloaded on their phone.
Prove the Earth is not flat. Prove it? Prove the Earth is not flat. Okay. Do you have tall buildings where you are? If you do, and a sight line to the horizon,
You're asking a guy with like a PhD, yo, the Earth is flat. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Some like fucking like set up like plastic table on a New York street. Earth is flat. Prove me wrong.
People from the ground floor up to the top floor and have someone hanging out in the roof. And all you have to do is at a sunset, when you have a clear view to the western horizon, have each person looking out the window. When they see the sun set below the horizon, have them raise their hand or shout out. And you will see one by one, in sequence, each person raise their hand until the person does so from the roof. That tells you that the sun...
Yeah, that would disprove the idea that we're on a disc and the sun is just rotating around the disc rather than it being a ball and, like, we're rotating. Well, we're orbiting around the sun, but also rotating.
The sun is disappearing behind a curve.
But the ice wall. But they don't let us go to Antarctica. Why did they only let Mr. Beast fly to Antarctica? Why don't they let people go there?
Curved surface. And if Earth were flat, when the sun set below that edge, everyone would raise their hands simultaneously. Or you could look at...
Dude, I feel like, I mean, I don't know if the flat earthers have a counterpoint to this, but I feel like hemisphere-based seasons disprove a flat earth theory. Unless they're saying the disk that we live on, like, tilts in some way. It's like... right now it's summer in Australia, but it's January because Earth is a fucking sphere and it tilts and that changes the seasons and how warm it is. Like, there's so many things that point to the Earth not being flat.
Photos from NASA. What's something about the universe that makes you emotional? All of it. But especially the fact that the ingredients of life itself, hydrogen is in our bodies. That was birthed in the Big Bang.
I love hearing that at every breath, not every breath, but while you're breathing the same air molecules that like Leonardo da Vinci and Abraham Lincoln and like early ancient Egyptian kings and people like breathed in, Like, not only are you stardust, but you're also, like, drinking the same water molecules and breathing the same air molecules that everybody else is also, or had also breathed.
And then we have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, silicon, iron. Those elements did not come from the Big Bang. They came from stars, forged in their core from thermonuclear fusion. And those stars happen to be the stars that also explode, scattering that enrichment across the galaxy, allowing subsequent generations of stars to have planets, some of which have the right ingredients for life. What is biology but highly complex chemistry? And there's no understanding of chemistry without physics. So all of this comes together. And so these ingredients that comprise us were birthed in stars. It's not just figuratively true, it's literally true that we are stardust. We are alive in the universe, and the universe is alive within us.
Pause. Why did I just rage bait myself? Why did I just rage bait myself? Like, nobody even typed that, but I was just like fucking guessing that somebody would say that.
20th century astrophysics to modern civilization that borders on the spiritual. That makes me emotional. How many?
Yo, one of the best books that I read was Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, which he wrote. It's just a fun book, you know? It just teaches you random shit about the universe.
Molecules are there in a glass of water? Ooh, there's bajillions in a glass of water. All I will tell you is that there are more molecules in a glass of water than there are glasses of water in all the world's oceans. Think about that. When you drink that glass of water and those molecules come out of your body in any one of a half dozen ways, those water molecules go back into the environment. There's a
half dozen ways. Sweat, piss, shit, snot, cum, poop, tears, blood. 8.
enough water molecules
Saliva, 9. Vomit, 10.
that came back out of your body.
You said poop twice. 9. Yeah, vomit, piss, snot, shit, poop, semen, tears, poop. Again, blood, saliva.
Every other glass that anyone draws from the
Vagisil.
world's water supply. Given enough time,
It's just a stupid inside joke. It's like, that's not going to make sense to anybody but the people that were here.
gets completely mixed. That means every glass of water you drink, there are molecules that pass through the kidneys of King Henry VIII.
Oh, dude, that's
Winston
the shit that I was
Churchill.
just saying with the air I was saying air molecules, though.
Pick your favorite historical character. So you want to talk about the oneness of all life on Earth? The water molecules through your system captures that fact. Why was Pluto demoted?
Because it's a small fuck. It's not big enough to be a goddamn planet. It's not big enough to be a fucking planet. It ain't on the goddamn size as all the other motherfuckers. Isn't Pluto the size of our moon? It's too small. Small-ass planet. It's way too small. I'm pretty sure in the Kuiper Belt or wherever, how far out fucking Pluto is, there's planets that are as big as Pluto. So it's like, if Pluto's a planet, then they also have to be a planet. So it's just easier to make Pluto not a planet than that. How big is Pluto compared to the moon? Pluto is significantly smaller than Earth's moon. Like, yo, it don't count, you know? I used to be a Pluto fan. Like, I remember I was upset when they were like, Pluto's not a planet. I was like, the fuck you mean Pluto's not a planet? I learned Pluto's a planet. It's too small. It's too small. It ain't making the cut.
It had it coming. I mean, come on. Most people who are Pluto lovers don't
It
know
had it coming. That motherfucker was going to get slimed out one way or another.
the following facts. Ready? Okay. A, more than half of Pluto's volume is ice. If Pluto were where Earth is right now, it would grow a tail because heat from the sun would evaporate that ice. It would have a tail. That's no kind of behavior for a planet. Not only that, Pluto's orbit crosses the orbit of another planet. No other planet does that. You know what does do that? Comets. You know, comets are made of ice. Pluto is not.
All right, now we're being a little too harsh here, Neil. Okay? Now we're being a little too harsh here, Neil. I'm down to give it dwarf planet moon status. I don't know about a comet. Now we're just really downgrading this thing. Now you're telling me I learned about a useless thing when I was in 3rd grade?
Necessarily the biggest thing in its orbit. There are other objects that rival Pluto in size. It does not own its orbital space. In fact, we concluded Pluto was one of the larger objects of a new swath of real estate discovered in the universe.
Yo, you know what pisses me off, bro? Gas planets. Like, no, actually, like, I don't know why it upsets me, but the idea of, like, a planet like Jupiter being largely, like, non-physical, or not non-physical, solid matter and, like, liquid metal and gas, bro. Like, and it's so, I also wish, bro, I always look this up. What if Jupiter was our moon? I would love that. If this was like what your day-to-day looked like. If Jupiter were our moon. Dude, how cool is that? Imagine that's on the fucking horizon. It would block a lot of stars. But that would be sick, dude. Or even like Saturn.
Called the Kuiper Belt of icy bodies. The Kuiper Belt of comets. So yeah, Pluto's happier there because it's like the king of the comets.
So now we're assuming how Pluto's taking this. Okay.
Instead of the puniest planet. Is intelligent life an evolutionary fluke or an inevitability?
First good question.
Ooh. Well, a couple of things. How inevitable could intelligence be if we're the only intelligent life on Earth, and Earth has been around for 4.8 billion years? If it were inevitable, you'd think it would show up more frequently in the tree of life, but it hasn't. So it's not clear.
Well, because intelligence isn't something that is definitively needed to arise. Like, it is what it's what happened with us because evolutionarily our intelligence enabled us to survive, right? But evolution is going to aid whatever environment that animal is in and needs to survive. And intelligence happened to be what we needed and wanted and was what was most successful for us to survive, right? In other animals, in other climates, it's big teeth and, fatty bodies and smaller brains but bigger claws and other shit. Or like even like jellyfish, like the capability to revert to an earlier life cycle. Like, it's whatever is needed in that environment, no?
If aliens came to visit looking for intelligent life and they arrived 500,000 years ago.
They died themselves? Yeah, I'm not saying every different species of human, like Homo habilis, or not Homo habilis, that was before Homo sapien, but like Neanderthals. I'm not saying like every Neanderthal died at the hand of humans. They died themselves as well. But like Homo sapiens did kill other types of humans.
That's tiny compared with the history of the Earth.
My friend's 6% Neanderthal. He should join the NFL.
We're not here yet. And they wouldn't find any intelligent life.
Unless he got the bad parts in the Neanderthal DNA.
So it's not clear how inevitable it is. What you don't want, what could likely happen, especially lately, is aliens come to Earth and they go home and report back, there's no sign of intelligent life on Earth. When will the universe end? Not in fire, but in ice. And not with a bang, but with a whimper. We are on a one-way expansion trip, never to cease. Never.
Yo, I remember the first time I ever like saw that shit was when I was watching Futurama and they teleported too far into the future and they saw the death of the universe and it was just nothing. And it was so sad. Like the universe, everything's going to get further and further apart and the energy's going to get dissipated to the point where like it's just blank space.
We're too slow.
Because all the stars are going to dwindle out, all the energy's going to dissipate.
If dark energy has its way with us, in 10 to the 22 years, the expansion of the universe would have accelerated so rapidly that it would have ripped the very fabric of space and time itself. And we call that the Big Rip. I don't even want to know what that looks like.
I hope all my particles somehow collide again and I just regain consciousness, 8 billion trillion years from now and I just see the death of the universe and then I die again.
What happens when we die? I can answer, if you're religious, you go to heaven and you hang out with all your relatives. I can answer this as a physicist. We are warm-blooded creatures, which means my skin temperature is nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And the room I'm in is not. The room I'm in is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? So in Celsius, body temperature is like 37, but room temperature for you is like 20, 23 degrees. So you are maintaining a temperature difference every waking moment of your life. If you died, your body would cool to air temperature. That's why if you've ever touched a corpse in a casket, the first thing you know,
that shit is cold. Cold. Oh my God, bro. And I don't judge people that be like hugging dead bodies and shit, but like, I mean, like when my grandpa died, bro, like I grabbed his hand for like a second. But like, bro, some people be like hugging it. I'm like, ooh. That's just not for me.
oh, it feels cold. No, it's actually air temperature. It feels cold compared to when you normally touch a human body.
Yeah, because you're used to feeling human skin and it's just being warm.
All right. Why does the body temperature drop? Because you're no longer metabolizing energy. The only reason why we consume food, other than the nourishment, is to have energy to maintain this body temperature difference. Okay. Also, we have neurosynaptic activities in our brain. We have thoughts. We have a consciousness. Let's say you die by a series of mini strokes. You know the person to whom this is happening. And bit by bit, their personality goes away. They lose their ability to recognize you. They don't know how to speak. They don't know where they are. Their consciousness fades, and you're witness to this. If you do a scan of their brain, you'll see parts of the brain shutting off because they're not activated by oxygen. That's what strokes do, of course. Then the person dies, and the metabolism stops. You put them in the earth, the molecules still contain energy. And those molecules are dined upon by microorganisms in the earth. And you are given back to the ecosystem. You're given back.
Yeah, I remember one of the weirdest things was when I saw my grandpa get buried. They had like this lining for the casket, and it was supposed to prevent like worms and other things breaking in. And I'm like, why does it matter? Like, you're gonna rot down there. Like, I'm never gonna judge somebody's wishes, but I was like, in my head, I was like, I mean, is there really a need for that? Because you're just, I see your point. You're dead. You know, at some point, they're going to eat your body. Is it now or 10 years from now? Like, you know, at some point, they're going to get in and you're going to rot. Out of respect, yeah, I get that. But it's also like, some people get so sad with like caskets. And it's like, when I saw my grandpa die, I wasn't so... I mean, this isn't really answering what's after death or what happens when you die, because that's like really nobody knows until you're dead. And then when you are dead, if it's nothing, you won't know because you're dead and your consciousness is gone. But I mean, when you see other people die, people get so upset when they see the like open casket, and I'm just like, that's not them. You know, obviously it's the physical sense of who they were, but their consciousness and the person that they are and were is gone. You know, like that's what makes somebody, you know, is the conversations you have with them and the way they portray themselves in action and through conversation, not through what they look like. And people always determine change of an individual through physicality, but people can change day to day massively off of, you know, consciousness. Like the way you think can change rapidly, but you could look the same. And it's like people always judge the physical sense so much to relate to that. But it's like who you are isn't what you look like at all. Like that doesn't matter.
To the circle of life. I choose to be buried for that reason. I spent my whole life dining upon flora and fauna. It's about time I gave back to them.
Bro, like I kind of want to get cremated just because I don't want to get buried in a casket. But I like, if I have the option, bro, I've said this before, chuck my ass in the woods. Helicopter my ass out into the fucking, like, Canadian forest and just drop me. And then, like, animals will just eat me. And I'm fine with that. Like, yeah, throw me in the ocean. I don't know. Well, in the deep ocean, you might just sit there for a while. Gotta make a Vagisil shrine at Joe's grave. Stop it!
In death. So when we die, I'm not given reason to think that your state of mind in death is any different from your state of mind before you were born. Before you were born, you were saying, where am I? How come I'm not? No, it's a state of non-existence. After you die, state of non-existence.
Yeah, that's the take I have. I would just say, because people are like, well, what is that? I'm like, sleep with no dreams. Forever. Nothing. Not black. I feel like people always go, oh, so it's like black? Like you're in nothing. Like it's like empty space. No, it's nothing. You're not conscious. You're just dead.
So that's what science says about death. But death is so scary to so many people. We fear death because we're born knowing only life. Is teleportation...
That's really what it is. Wow.
We fear death because we're born knowing only life. Is teleportation possible? What you'd have to do, you have to be like demolecularized, turn into a beam of energy, and they beam the energy to another location.
And then wouldn't you be dead though? Like I always have that argument with teleportation is if they had to like dismantle your body to like its basic atoms and then reassemble you in another area, wouldn't the you that stepped into the teleportation system be dead? And the teleported you would actually just be a clone of you.
Retaining all the information that is you, because you kind of lose that information when you convert matter into energy. But you have to somehow retain it and then reassemble your atoms. I'm waiting for the future where we invent wormholes. Then you just step through to the destination. No dematerializing, no reassembling your atoms and putting back the information of all your neurosynapses that makes you in your mind. You just step through the wormhole and you arrive. So teleportation, yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen for the information problem.
Well, the information problem, but it's also like if you're able to do wormholes, there's just no point. Like teleportation would just be like 9 steps to complete something that would take 1.
That it poses. Or just warp drives to get to where you're going. Okay? Just warp space. You know how warp drives work? I'm here and I want to get there, and that takes a long time. So you curve space, and then you jump through that short distance, and then you uncurve it. That's how you can get across the galaxy during the TV commercials. Is there life on Mars? We're looking. It wouldn't be on the surface.
Yeah, isn't there still technically liquid water under the surface of Mars where there could be still like bacteria and like other microorganisms?
The high ultraviolet flux from the sun, protected here on Earth by our ozone, no such protection on Mars. Ultraviolet is hazardous to biology. If there's life on Mars, maybe it's in the waters that are beneath the surface, in like an aquifer, something such as that. How does the Earth spin? Everything spins. Everything. Particles, planets, stars, galaxies, everything.
The sun spins? I didn't know that. I would have assumed that the sun's still maybe orbiting like some other larger thing, but I didn't know the sun also rotates.
When the
sun's a planet. The sun's a star.
They form from larger gas clouds in the universe. If the gas cloud has any motion at all sideways, no matter how small, as it collapses, that motion grows. It's called the conservation of angular momentum. We all know this. We've all seen it. We've seen it with ice skaters, where they come to make a spin and their arms are outstretched.
Oh, and then they do that tight shit and they go, love that. They do like nine rotations in a row. It's like you're watching G-Force.
And as they bring in their arms, what happens? They spin faster and faster and faster. And they can take their arms and put it up above their head so that their arms get even closer to the axis of rotation and they spin really, really fast. If you want to reverse that, then you just extend your arms back again. So that ending posture, that ending panache at the end of the spin, they have to do that. Otherwise, they keep spinning. So when you see an ice skater do that, just keep that in mind. Everything spins. And when it spins, something has to stop it. And it'll spin forever, basically. Okay. Or when you spin a top or anything there's friction between it and the surface. So it eventually slows down. In space, there's no friction. So we good. Who is the GOAT of science? Greatest of all time?
Obviously, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Isaac Newton. Duh.
Oh.
He's your boy, Isaac Newton, buried in Westminster Abbey. He discovered the laws of optics, the laws of gravity, single-handedly invented integral and differential calculus, practically.
Yeah, and his dumbass probably would have been bronze ranked in Valorant, and he also thought that he could turn other metals into gold, like a dumbass. So, who's the real genius?
On a dare. Because someone said, Ike, why do the planets orbit in ellipses rather than perfect circles? And I don't know. I'll get back to you. And then he figures out why. And his friend says, well, how did you figure this out? Well, I had to invent calculus to answer that. Well, he did all that by the time he turned 26.
Wait, what? He did that shit when he turned 20, by the time he turned 26? I thought he did that in his, 40s. Damn, I'm a bum.
And by all evidence, in case you're wondering whether you will ever achieve this yourself,
No,
by
I
all
won't.
evidence, he died a virgin. These things come with costs. Isaac Newton, no bout a doubt it. Is time travel possible? We are already time traveling into the future, 1 second at a time. The problem, though, is we are prisoners of our own present, forever transitioning between our inaccessible path.
Yeah, isn't light, anything with matter is bound by time, but light's not bound by time. That's why the faster you go, the slower time is. Relative. It's still the same to you and how you experience it, but everything around you experiences time at a quicker rate.
And our unknowable future. So you will always age at 1 second per second. The question is, what is the rate that you are aging compared to places around you?
Yeah, that always freaks me the fuck out. Like, the faster I go, it doesn't matter because I'm still going to experience a second as a second. And, what that even means time-wise doesn't even make sense because that's a human-derived number because a second is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, which is how fast we rotate around the sun. We're just dividing things into, moments that we're counting. So there is no actual physical amount of time that we're experiencing. It's just however much time feels like. But the faster you go, you still experience time the same within your own conscious brain, but everything around you would experience it at a more rapid rate. So if I start going 20, 30, 40% of the speed of light, everybody around me, if I saw them through a looking glass, would be aging and dying quicker than me. What? Just watch the movie Interstellar, bro. Come on. Oh, my God.
Because not everyone experiences the same timeline. Not everyone experiences the same rate of progress of time. If you're in a strong gravitational field, time ticks more slowly for you. If you travel fast, time ticks more slowly for you relative to others looking on. So that's all we've got. However, if you can make a wormhole, there's a way to time travel through the wormhole. But we don't have wormholes yet. Stephen Hawking suggested if you go back in time to your own timeline, you might accidentally disrupt your timeline, prevent your parents from meeting, and then you're never born, so that you don't exist to go back and disrupt your own timeline.
Yeah, but I always thought that timeline would be skewed. It would create another alternate reality that you didn't exist in. If time travel were real and I went back in time and I killed my own, dad, I wouldn't exist. So if I didn't exist, then I wouldn't exist to kill my own dad, so I would exist. So I feel like the better explanation is that if you go back in time, you're going back to an alternate reality that you're skewing for another universe, not your own.
So that's a paradox. So Stephen Hawking said we can't have these paradoxes. So maybe one day we will discover something he called a time travel conjecture, which prevents us from traveling in time, just to avoid that very outcome. So, favorite subject of science fiction writers, by the way. And best among them, best. Now, Doctor Who, they do okay. There's some fun time travel things going on there. But I would say in terms of movies, definitely Back to the Future. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Are UFOs real? If you see something in the sky and you don't know what it is, it's real. It's a real UFO because the U stands for unidentified. UFO. I see a flying object. I don't know what it is. It's real.
Motherfuckers with Starlink on Facebook.
So that question, are they real?
There's a bunch of aliens.
Almost doesn't make sense. Of course it's real. You don't know what you're looking at. It's a UFO. Okay? You want to know if UFOs are aliens? That's different. And I see no convincing evidence that we have ever been visited. And why there's so many sightings? Because most people don't know what goes on above their heads. If you go to the community of amateur astronomers who are out back with their telescope every night, ask them how many UFOs they've seen. Chances are the UFO you saw to them is an IFO, identified flying object. I'm waiting for the high-resolution image of aliens walking off a flying saucer. Then we can talk. Until then, showing me fuzzy images of lights in the sky during twilight or any other time of day, I need better evidence than that. I'm sorry. Keep looking.
You believe in aliens, Joe? Yeah, I believe in aliens.
Okay.
Whether we've interacted with them, I don't know.
What's more important, exploring space or fixing Earth?
Fixing Earth. But I think there could be a mixture of the two. Like, exploring space could help Earth.
Let's go back to the caves. 20,000
Neil's getting serious, leaning in here.
years ago. We're all in the cave. And the lads in the cave peer through the front door, and they look out and they see mountains and valleys and hills and trees with fruit on it and the sky. And they want to go explore outside the cave. But they don't have permission. So they go back into the cave and talk to the cave elders. Back then, the cave elders would be 30 years old. Half of everyone in that day was dead before they turned 30. So let's go to the cave elders, and they say, we want to go explore outside. And the cave elder, they meet other cave elders, and they come back and conclude, no, you cannot leave the cave because we have cave problems you need to solve first. Only then can you go outside the cave door. That's what you sound like. Point is, you do both. You don't just do one or the other. You fix Earth and explore. There could be solutions out there that can help solve problems.
That's what I said.
Here on Earth. Unless you somehow think Earth is so big and amazing that all our solutions are contained here. But if you study the universe, this is Earth and this is the universe, and you're saying, don't study that, only study this. Then we'll solve all problems. Get real. Does anything scare you? Yes. I fear that our species, as it currently manifests in this world, I fear that we lack the wisdom to become the shepherds of our powers over nature that we need to be to ensure that the world is still here for our descendants. That's scary.
So we'll go extinct. Dude, I get more and more worried learning about, like, world politics right now and how countries are, like, kind of dividing into their own, like, weirder divisions where, like, China kind of has its area, Russia and U.S., and they kind of try to, like, take a hold of their own areas, and it's, like, so reminiscent of, like, the follow-up to World War I. And I truly believe that, like, most world powers are going to do whatever they can to, like, avoid World War III. But if that ever happens, that's like the, like, because countries go to war, and you could have one country go to war with another, or one country go to war with two countries, but the second you have the world superpowers fighting each other, they bring out the big weapons, and then that's end of the world. Like, that's like maybe not end of humanity, but like resetting us back to square one level type, like Fallout level shit, like bad.
Do you think most humans are unable to grasp the fundamentals of the cosmos? I'm going to ask a different question. Is the human mind smart enough to fully understand the cosmos at all? Maybe those who understand it best.
Because you're only able to understand everything through the perceptions that are given to you through evolution of humanity on Earth. And also how you age and understand things on Earth. So things that are, 5,000, 5 million light years away aren't going to make any fucking sense comparable to shit that you experience here.
Understand a tiny little bit of this larger truth, and the human brain is just too stupid to ever figure it out. I lose sleep over that, wondering if we will ever figure it all out.
Wow.
Or are we just sort of pawing at the base of a mountain, not seeing the glory of what lay before us? I quote Isaac Newton, your man. Sometimes I feel as though I'm a child on the shore, picking up one pebble that's shinier than the next. Yet the great ocean of undiscovered truth lay before me. What is the strangest thing about the universe?
When he looks at the camera, he's like, you get that?
That it's knowable at all.
Bro, every time I watch some shit about the universe and how vast it is, I always just end it more confused than before. Like, how the fuck, not even like how we're here, but like the universe as a whole, how vast it is, and how unaware we are of, we're aware of how unaware we are of everything. Like, that's it. Like, and anybody in maybe humanity as a whole wouldn't be able to, like, explore the cosmos. But, like, we as a species right now, in this day, not humanity as a whole in the future, but, like, humanity and everybody that's alive right now, is capable of understanding that there's crazy shit out there that we don't understand and that we want to explore, but we're unable to do it right now, and we will never be able to do it. We, meaning the people that are alive currently. We can only set up other people to then eventually be able to go see it. And that fucking annoys me. Like, I'm jealous of those people that are going to be able to fucking understand that shit. But I think in certain ways they'd be able to be jealous of us for things that we have that they won't. So, there's two coins to it, I guess. Or two sides of the coin. All right, chat, we're going to call that there.